In a world that never stops talking, silence can feel unsettling. We are constantly surrounded by noise, notifications, conversations, and expectations. And yet, beneath all the distractions, there's a quiet voice within us, waiting to be heard. But many people fear being alone. They mistake solitude for loneliness, believing that to be alone is to be incomplete. However, the truth is quite the opposite. Learning to be alone is not about isolation. It is about discovering the most profound connection of all, the one with yourself. The Buddha once said, "You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection." When you embrace solitude, you are not abandoning the world, you are returning to yourself. So, how can we learn to be alone and find peace in it? Most people see solitude as something to be avoided. But throughout history, the wisest individuals, spiritual leaders, thinkers, and artists have sought solitude, not as an escape, but as a gateway to deeper understanding. The Buddha himself left behind the distractions of the world to meditate in silence. In the quiet, he found wisdom. And the same is true for us. Being alone is not a weakness, it is a strength. It means you do not depend on others to fill the emptiness within. Instead, you find peace in your own presence. Much of our discomfort with being alone comes from the need for validation. We seek approval from others through likes, messages, and attention, hoping it will make us feel valued. But the more we rely on external validation, the more fragile our sense of self becomes. When our happiness depends on others, we give away our power. Ask yourself, if everything external was taken away, social media, friendships, relationships, who would you be? When you no longer need constant reassurance from the outside world, you become truly free. One of the greatest lessons solitude teaches us is mindfulness, the ability to be fully present in the now. Most of us avoid being alone because we fear what we might find in the silence, our insecurities, our regrets, our restless thoughts. But running from them only gives them more power. Instead, sit with yourself. Observe your thoughts without judgment. Listen to the stillness. With time, you will realize that solitude is not empty. It is full of peace if you allow it to be. The Buddha taught that everything arises and fades within the present moment. If you can find comfort in simply being, then loneliness will lose its grip on you. Being alone is not a curse, it is an opportunity. In solitude, you have the space to grow, to reflect, and to rediscover who you are. Use this time wisely. Read books that nourish your mind. Meditate to understand your thoughts. Write in a journal to reflect on your emotions. Explore hobbies that bring you joy. Instead of seeing solitude as something to endure, treat it as a sacred space, a time to reconnect with yourself. If you were to meet yourself today, would you enjoy the conversation? We often treat others with kindness and patience, yet we criticize ourselves so harshly. Learning to be alone means learning to enjoy your own company. When you start treating yourself as a friend, with love, with respect, with understanding, you will realize that being alone is not lonely at all. It is a chance to be with the person who knows you best, yourself. There is a reason why the greatest wisdom is found in silence. The Buddha once said, "Silence is an empty space. Space is the home of the awakened mind." When you stop running from the quiet, you will start to hear what it has to say. In stillness, you will find clarity. In solitude, you will find yourself. So instead of fearing silence, embrace it. Walk alone. Breathe deeply. Listen. Because in the quiet, the greatest truths will reveal themselves to you. To be alone is not to be abandoned. It is to return home to yourself. The ability to be alone is a gift. It teaches you self-love, resilience, and inner peace. The more comfortable you become in your own presence, the less you will rely on the world to complete you. So take a moment today, sit in stillness, be with yourself. And remember, solitude is not emptiness. It is the space where you truly come alive. If this message resonates with you, subscribe for more wisdom on mindful living. Let's walk this path together.